Well, I just did the Church of Kimi, and I forgot to record it. So, I think it's recording from where I left off. So I think I only have 10 minutes. So I'm gonna do 10 minutes. I won't talk as much, but let me just get through what I did for the longer format. Started out with Child's Prayers. This is the book I was given. It's published in 1968. I think I was 2 years old by my godmother. A Child's Morning Prayer. I thank thee, Lord, for quiet rest and for thy care of me. Oh, let me through this day be blessed and kept from harm by thee. Oh, let me love thee, kind thou art, to children such as I. Give me a gentle, holy heart, and be thou my friend on high. Help me to please my parents dear, and do whatever they tell. Bless all my friends, both far and near, and keep them safe and well. Amen. By Mary Lundy Duncan. And I had mentioned that I didn't like this thing where you have to do whatever your parents say, because sometimes your parents are jerks and you shouldn't. Just my opinion. The next thing I read was from This Lord is My Shepherd book. Can't get it to show because I don't know. Anyway, you get the idea. It's from the year 2000, so it's not ancient like my other stuff. So I read from Psalm 30. It's an excerpt. O Lord my God, I cried unto thee, and thou hast healed me. O Lord, thou hast brought up my soul from the grave. Thou hast kept me alive, that I should not go down to the pit. Sing unto the Lord, O ye saints of his, and give thanks at the remembrance of his holiness. For his anger endureth but a moment, in his favor is life. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. I like that one. He cried and healed me. Although I will say I cried a lot about Kimi. And I guess if you look at healed, like he took her to heaven, he healed her. If you look at healed, like she'd still be here healed on earth, then it didn't work out that way. But there's no guarantees in life, are there? So then I read a chapter out of my Sabbath book. I don't know if we're going to have enough time for that. I'll do that last, but I'll read from my Power of Prayer. I don't know where I got it from, but I like it. It's not super old. I love this little ribbon, the ribbon in it. So I read something short, and this is for children. Words and actions. In the raising of children, Lord, can I teach what I can't do? To observe them is to know that they're already developing skills they see me model. Oh God, help. To equip them to become the best they can be, I must start with myself. And I thought that was interesting because last week we read from Khalil Gibran, and he said, don't make your kids what you are, right? You're just raising them. You're just the bow that they're the arrow that gets shot off of you. But I do think that modeling positive behaviors such as kindness and patience and diligence and hard work and being on time, all those kinds of things are certainly things that will benefit your children in life, and I would go ahead and do them. Then last week we read from this book, The Sabbath, and the last thing we read was about how crazy and frenetic life has become. And the author questioned, is our version of happiness what Thomas Jefferson spoke of when he spoke of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? I think not. So just real quickly, how have we allowed this to happen? This was not our intention. This is not the world we dreamed of when we were young and our whole life was full of possibility and promise. How did we get so terribly lost in a world saturated with striving and grasping, yet somehow bereft of joy and delight? I suggest that it is this. We have forgotten the Sabbath. Before you dismiss this statement as simplistic, even naive, we must explore more fully the nature and definition of Sabbath. While Sabbath can refer to a single day of the week, Sabbath can also be a far reaching, revolutionary tool for cultivating those precious human qualities that grow only in time. If busyness can become a kind of violence, we do not have to stretch our perception very far to see that Sabbath time, effortless, nourishing rest, can invite a healing of this violence. When we consecrate a time to listen to the still small voices, we remember the root of inner wisdom that makes work fruitful. We remember from where we are most deeply nourished and see more clearly the shape and texture of the people and things before us. Without rest, we respond from a survival mode, where everything we meet assumes a terrifying prominence. When we are driving a motorcycle at high speed, even a small stone in the road can be a deadly threat. So when we are moving faster and faster, every encounter, every detail inflates in importance. Everything seems more urgent than it really is, and we react with sloppy desperation. Charles is a gifted, thoughtful physician. One day we were discussing the effects of exhaustion on the quality of our work. Physicians are trained to work when they are exhausted, required from the moment they begin medical school to perform when they are sleep deprived, hurried, and overloaded. I discovered in medical school, Charles told me, that if I saw a patient when I was tired or overworked, I would order a lot of tests. I was so exhausted I couldn't tell exactly what was going on. I could see the symptoms, I could recognize the possible diagnoses, but I couldn't really hear how it fit all together. So I got in the habit of ordering a battery of tests, hoping they would tell me what I was missing. But when I was rested, if I had an opportunity to get some sleep or go for a quiet walk, when I saw the next patient, I could rely on my intuition and experience to give me a pretty accurate reading of what was happening. If there was any uncertainty about my diagnosis, I would order a single specific test to confirm or deny it. But when I could take the time to listen and be present with them and their illness, I was almost always right. I think that's very powerful. And I know personally, when I'm exhausted at night and I'm trying to get something done, my brain just won't work and I can't think. And I tell myself, you know what, just go to bed and get up an hour early in the morning and work on it. And it's like a miracle. I wake up in the morning, set my alarm, and I get this thing done that would have taken like hours to do the night before and get it done like in an hour, or it's just much more productive time. So try to get more sleep. That's what part of what I talked about. Start at 8 hours, 8 hours in bed. And you're gonna like by the time you get up and go to the bathroom and you fall asleep and wake up early, you'll get 7. And I shoot for 9 hours in bed, with an intention of getting 8 hours sleep. There's a really good book called Why We Sleep that I'm going to maybe read from, and talks about how all animals, including people, need sleep. But we're the only ones that are just like, we've messed it up so much, and we need to take sleeping pills and, melatonin and all this stuff. And really, all we need is a good sleep schedule and some good sleep hygiene. And I guarantee almost anybody will be able to sleep because your body really wants to sleep. Your brain really wants to sleep. You just gotta set it up so you can sleep. You gotta have a comfy room, comfy temperature, comfy clothes. Um, but I wish you this next week, I wish you a week of good sleep. And I hope you can give me some feedback. We're almost out of time. It's been a pleasure being with you. Thank you for joining me. And again, any suggestions you have for future uh, sessions, I would love to hear them. And I'd love to have feedback on how you think I'm doing, because this is something new to me. And we'll just close with just a short few seconds of quiet meditation. Goodbye.